Greetings, mortals. I am Natus, the ruler of the underworld. The end of the week is upon us, so it's time that we talk about some manga chapters. And this week, there's a few chapters for series that have been, let's just say, not talked about for a couple of weeks now. And we'll start with one being Shadow House, chapter 207, titled All in the Place. So, yeah, this is gonna be more of a sort of I guess you could call it the give us the lowdown of how the protagonists are doing and what they have been up to for this little time skip that we've been having. But yeah. So anyways, we start this chapter off in the I think we've seen this building before and probably entered it a couple of times, but it's like a little small house that's like I think in that like little garden area that's I want to say used by the science division, but I think this one's actually smaller than that one. Maybe the mill or something. Well, not the mill, maybe the like what lake or something. I'm not certain, but regardless, they are meeting in that house because there's like no one there, and we see that. I'm going to assume that Thomas was living in that place, and that's probably where that's the way where Ram are staying at sometimes when they're not pretending to be their living dolls. Although maybe Tom is also a living doll since I think he wears that like faceless doll outfit on, but that could just be general clothing. But regardless, we have them all meeting there and they are kind of giving the lowdown about what the hell has been going on and how they've been planning in things to be going against Anthony. So yeah, no. The problem is this chapter is actually a lot of like already established knowledge. Like we get the information that we got from the Anthony flashback a couple of chapters ago, or right before the time skip. Then the brainwashing works about how like how the brainwashing gets into people to a point they don't really question much when it comes to the Shadow family. And they give to the kids, which then get even stronger brainwashing symptoms. So it's information like that's given. It's not until we start getting to how they are breaking people out there, that brainwashing, that we actually get some new information. And we namely find out that Jeremiah has actually developed like a little cubes called revitalization supporting sugar cubes that they're actually like on a long-term format are able to slowly break people out of it. So if you like take these sugar cubes on a regular basis, you will have a higher chance of getting broken out of the brainwashing, which is something that Oliver has states that he has been only how you can break him out of brainwashing by hitting him in the head with a hammer. So because it's like it's a little weird thing, and we also find out that a lot of the members of Kate's faction have actually been broken out of the brainwashing, or at the very least. Oh, the sharp tongued lady from the side division is also there, so it's not just the ones who've been working for Kate already. It's also the ones that the very close associates like her, mostly because like half of the science division is already, or science group is already working for Kate, so it's a very big difference. But whatever. So she's there as well, and yeah. But it's also explained that because Anthony used reactivated that everyone is brainwashing with that coffee trick. Now, if they've actually had to use a different method to get them all out. So Jeremiah had to use option 2, which is a emergency brainwashing removal salt, which is a lot quicker, a lot more effective because it's kind of like a minimalized form of like drinking several gallons of water, like what Emilico had to take to get her brainwashing removed. As as it stated, it has similar effects towards it, but it's actually probably worse. As we even have the characters like still being sick from it, which I'm going to assume they just got their brainwashing on done this today, or maybe it's just so bad it actually took a couple of days for them to even be able to stand. Kind of suspicious, but I'm going to assume it's just been a couple of hours. So yeah. Anyways, they are talking about that salt, and we also see that Ricky is there as well. So what we do in this chapter is also showing us that all of the characters who have been allied are now free and are able to help them. like Ricky, Oliver's team. Nancy, the girl with pigtails and glasses, is also brainwashed, but said that she has something else that she needs to do, so that's the reason she's not present. Kind of a weird detail to mention, but I'm assuming it's gonna come back into play later. It's also revealed that John and John also got his brainwashing undone. But the funny thing about his brainwashing being undone, it wasn't because of the cubes, but it was because uh, John noticed that John. Wait, Sean was more partial to calling Kate. Well, he was basically praising Anthony over Kate, so John was very pissed at Sean. So he had a good old slugfest with him to undo his brainwashing. And the reason why he was still not completely affected by the brainwashing is because he was reading his letter to Kate. Which kind of feels like a bit of a foreshadowing the fact that he said, "Oh, I cannot help you the best to my capabilities, Kate, but as to Anthony, can make up for my weakness." So I guess that should have been seen as foreshadowing for this scene because John would be like, "Wait, I understand calling Anthony great and all, but the idea of praising him above Kate is blasphemy. I mean, you the shit out of you, Sean, for that blasphemous statements." And we also get to reveal that all of the new groups, the kids who were in that debut, have also had their brainwashings undone. Is we have them sitting on a machine or standing on a machine doing their kind of character things, like the silent emo girl just sitting quietly. One of the guys flexing his muscles, while the playful girl's like yay, yay, yay. So yeah, we have a bit of that kind of thing, funny thing going on. And we also kind of have a joke about Ricky and Sean going to a fight again because Ricky had to eat the soul to get his brainwashing undone, while Sean just had to have a big slugfest with each other. But luckily, they are able to get them they're able to calm them basically. As we then go into the details about Kate's backstory, as Jeremiah explains, because he thinks it will be crucial for everyone to be aware of what's going on, so there wouldn't be any issues later. Because let's be straight honest ourselves, we got a nickel for every time a character reveals something that's not the most shocking thing in the world, but it's more at the moment that's being revealed that's kind of breaks people's trust and that would cause issues for the characters. We would essentially being billionaires at this point with every time that happened in stories. So it makes sense that it's best to just come out and say it. This is what Kate is, and this is the situation that's going on. There's no so there won't be any kind of mistrust with each other. Now, before we go into the backstory and all that reactions, I should probably mention I don't have an issue with characters having their brainwashings undone because, well, simply put, if we got through every character having their brainwashings undone, if we went to actively show characters, it would have just kind of dragged the story out a bit. I mean, remember, getting Ricky's brainwashing undone, it would have taken time. Getting all the girls brainwashing, all the beauties would take time. Getting the entire science team to get their brainwashings done would take time because these are characters who would, without brainwashing, still would have already helped Kate regardless. So having them spend multiple chapters with them getting their brainwashing undone would just kind of drag the story down. That's kind of a lot of problems because a lot of times it's easier at the beginning to focus on that, but in the end of the stories and mangas, they usually start kind to feel a little rush when you come to that. Look at on that unlock. It have the beginning of the part 2 of Timescape or whatever you want to call that transition between the two. We had everyone getting cool arcs about how they are joining in full course version of the Union. But then we are at the end of it, and we basically one was entirely off screen, one was completely rushed to a point you don't even know why she was why she's helping them, and quite frankly, you question why she was even involved in the first place and necessary at all. And then and now we are if you read on that, you know where we are at this point. So yeah, I do understand skipping this part best since it's not a big thing. It'll be dramatic, but there's probably gonna be dramatic moments later. So yeah, that's my take on them. Their brainwashing being off screen. So yeah, anyways, then we get to the Jeremiah explain to the situation with Kate, saying how the Miro family had like a issue, like financial and political and all that, and the air issue. So it got reduced to basically being only able to go live on this one island where they knew had a 16-year-old Alfred, I believe was Kate's father's name, uh, was in charge. He was very idealistic, very childish in a sense, but people liked him because of it. And then the Morbs attack. We got this backstory, at least this like the third time I believe that was explained. And then they uh, got separated. And the culprit behind it is Joseph, as we see like a little doll. Like doing this explanation, he does it like visually with a dollhouse and a little trinkets of people that represent them, and says, "All right, these and the culprit behind the attack was Joseph, his right hand man, uh, shot Miro Alfred from the Miro family went into like to the boonies basically, and then found out the Miro Shadow family has taken over, and he wanted to take them down. And when he was in that process, he was like he also married Alfred's Joseph's daughter, which he then had Anthony as his son. But Anthony betrayed him, and he has now come to take everything from take the shower house and everything from Joseph essentially. But doing those methods, he's been very cruel and awful. Like you can, like I mean, we've spent the last couple of chapters showing us how awful Joe Anthony is. So yeah, and then he also explained to the Kate portion. Well, what Jeremy does is says, "All right, I could." Okay, it'll be best if Kate explains it's all the things that I know about it. It's more from my perspective, which is more just putting pieces together. So it'll be best if Kate explains. So Kate explains her part, like her mother had her in the womb for 50 years because of the process that was with the morph. It was very similar to her, but was it, but not the same. So she doesn't always say she's human, but she does say, yeah, I'm basically half human. So yeah, and she wants to, and Jeremy is also saying she's the rightful successor because she's actually a good person for one, like the real high standard of not be a bad person. So yeah, as then Kate asks them, "Will you all help me? Will you all support me?" Which the character said, "Of course we will." And Kate also says that she's not going to like force anyone. If they want to leave after they take back the house, she is fine with it. She just wants their help to take the house, which is actually kind of an interesting idea. I mean, I get kind of the kids like maybe they would go live with their back to their families and all, but what about like the shadows themselves? Like I said, they all disappear. I mean, I guess they could be the ones that will reside in the shadow house because like someone's gonna have to occupy it with Kate. So yeah, but then like, what about? What about the adults? Actually, now I think about it, like, what they going with them? I mean, would they follow Kate? I mean, it's like they even have a family to go back to. I mean, many of them are probably too old to have their families even be alive at this point. Like, I don't think Thomas can go back to his family. So what about them? But this is probably not going to be addressed until we get to the like epilogue section. But I just kind of wonder what they're gonna do afterwards. I mean, mainly because I think I'll be staying with Kate because she has nowhere else to go. So yeah, she will just be visiting them. But that's it. So yeah, and that's kind of the explanation and what Kate plans to do. And they're of course going to support her because it's because she and they do say that it's because she walked down both paths of humanity and shadow, so she's aware of both. So she's probably the best person to use as a point of reference. And also, she again wants to help them. Like she has no brainwashing in her plans, namely. And there's also like a little joke with John and Jeremy here because Jeremy is like referring to Kate as Lady Kate as honorific because he very much is like her butler. If you remember when we last focused on them, Jeremy basically became her butler, and it's kind of how they joined forces. So yeah, Kate. Kate, so yeah, Kate wants him to not refer to as his superior, but he is going to. So when John wants to, like, oh, I am Kate's fiance, Jeremy's like, all right, it's your young master. I guess Jeremy's also going to be staying behind to help Kate live in the mirror house. Well, restore the mirror house. So yeah, that's kind of the situation there. Also, I forgot to mention this, but there's like, if you're wondering why Jeremy made those like cubes, or when he had the time to make those cubes and sold, he was actually developing them long before this. It's just that now that Kate has plans, there's actually a need for them. And Oliver does come mention, oh, even that how Jeremy does have a heart of a researcher, because despite losing hope, he still developed things that he required for this purpose. So yeah. Anyways, as then we have the classic "we'll all follow you," Kate, and all that moment. We also have like a dramatic moment where Kate like removes her. I don't know what they're called, but like that, that little like shoulder area that she has, like she in that she carries the metals. She removes that thing, she throws it on the ground, and says like, Anthony is toying with us. He's destroying our lives. He doesn't care about anything. He acts like he owns the whole thing, but he clearly just wants to use and abuse until it's broken. And we will not let this slide. We will not let him have his way anymore. This is like a little joke about all of these medals being kind of heavy because, you have like 15, 20 medals. He goes, so, yeah, there's a little joke about that, but it doesn't matter. It's meant to be more dramatic with her saying it's time we take Anthony down, with them getting ready for the mission, with Douglas saying that he should go back to Anthony soon because he's aware of because he's been following Anthony's movements for a while now. So he should return, but yeah, but he doesn't before they get like the next plan out very quickly, which we then we have Kate asking for Evelyn and Eve's opinion on the matter about wanting she wants Evelyn and Eve's opinion on the matter because they're also there. Which, in case you're thinking that Evelyn or Eve's brainwash was done, it wasn't. Essentially, the way it's explained is that after the last chapter, where she had like that like trauma, being put unconscious from trauma, is was taken from from the hospital wing and brought here with her waking up, getting everything explained to her, or getting everything listening to everything they said, and yeah, but okay, but Evelyn and Eve did not get like undone. So when they hear all this, they just think it's nonsense. They have to report these rules, breaking of the rules, to Anthony. Yes, because I'm certain the two girls are gonna be able to get past. I mean, how many is this? Like 20 people at this point? Like you have to double many of them because they are like masters and shadow, but whatever. Actually, I mean the juniors are like eight. Are like okay. Wait, there's like 10 just from the. Wait, there's 10 just from the first years, and then there's like the four members of the 6 members from the research. Actually, no, over 20. There's over 20 people there. I'm sure that you can handle. I don't know how to apply this, but it's nothing. It's just supposed to be like a little thing, like to get like her undone brainwashing, because it doesn't really make sense for Evelyn and Eve to have their brainwashing undone from a logistics perspective. Because like it's explained that the ones who haven't already been on their side or are already like their main supporters, it would be kind of pointless to have their brainwashing be undone. Sucks to be Mirabelle twins though, but to be fair, those two twins, life just seems to be suffering anyways. But regardless, we have I guess Evelyn's gonna be the one that's going to be like the main focus on doing the brainwashing. I kind of also feel like the reason why Kate went for Evelyn is because she thought, oh, maybe her brainwashing was already kind of undone because she felt unconscious because of Anthony's little scheme about kids dying being alive. But yeah. Anyways, with that, Evelyn and Eve setting up storyline or setting up the next chapter out of the way, we end this chapter on that. So yeah. Now after Shadow House, we then have 100 girlfriends who really, really, really love you. Chapter 199. Almost 200 chapters of bigness. But before that, it's the dog, the daughter, and the dad. Alright, I get the chapter title because both of them, all three of them start with a D, but I mean, they really needed the dog in the title. It was already a red flag now. But Anyways, it's time that we suffer a dark chapter with Chio walking home after school as she's like thinking what they're gonna have for dinner. No, as she's like, all right, we have that sauce in their home. Do we have anything else? Oh yeah, we have some leftover pork, so we can have that for dinner. Yeah, it's fine. But she being, kind of the more mature she is, kind of portrayed to be, as we then have Chio noticing a box there, as she's like, oh, someone was littering, and she probably went to there to like take the box and break it and then put it in the trash can. But she realizes that wasn't someone littering; it was someone who couldn't take care of a dog, or someone who I guess found a stray dog and just wanted to like signify this is a dog without a family or something. Because she looks there and she sees like a little puppy dying there, as it has like a please adopt me sign in there. And yeah, as then she looks at this and she's like, oh no, this poor thing, because for some reason she likes dogs, I guess, or wants a dog or whatever. She knows that and she's like, oh, what can she do about this? Like, she can't just go get food and feed it because, well, feeding a stray dog is not a good thing since it will just cause more trouble because it's a dog. So, like making more puppies that will just cause more suffering. And then it just a matter of time before he again needs to feed. So, yeah. She's basically stuck in this, like, we what to do with this dog thing, as she starts to cry because like she can't really help this dog in any kind of proper way. But she also thinks about like going to get to a shelter or maybe a police station somewhere. But she's like, what if no one adopts this dog? Then this dog will like end up on the streets again. So it's like there are solutions, but they're not gonna take. It's not going to be a factor for very long. But to a point that she starts crying because she knows that there's not that many options. She also explains that she cannot take in the dog because Uncle Kyo is apparently, well, is wise enough to know that dogs are the most terrifying creatures in the world, so he is terrified of them. Which in case you're wondering why he's terrified of them, it's actually explained it's because a chihuahua when he was a kid actually bit him in like, I don't mean it's like the neck itself, but it's one of those like, I think it's like a chihuahua bit him along his throat area, where it's like a very important like organ. I think it was something on C, but I'm not entirely sure what it was again. But I know it was like a very important like area in the throat. So yeah, Uncle Hero's fear of dogs is not only correct and but also justified in a sense. So yeah, kind of surprising how this chapter kind of wants to give us a bit more like kind of like a bit more dignity to him. Because remember, I'm gonna like one of those guys who has like no dignity whatsoever. So having him like have a legitimate reason to be terrified of dogs and so explained and pretty much proven that every time he had a dog around him, they always attack them, always go bite him. Can relate. Well, not on the biting part, but I can relate about them going on rampage, starting to bark at you like you're gonna kill them. It's only my sisters, people. It's only my sisters, not some random person's dog. So yeah. Anyways, she then thinks what to do to a point of tears, and then she starts crying. And then the dog is so hungry and thirsty and all that it actually starts to like lick the tears from that Chio dropped. Well, the tears that came out of Chio, and Chio can tell the dog wants to live, so she grabs and puts her in her arms as she decides what her next course of action is going to be, which is essentially just keep the dog in her house or in her room until someone wants to take the dog in, since there's going to be less of like a. I guess the idea is like maybe it's going to be less limited to people and all that, since there's sort of like only so many dogs you can kind of accept in those places, so they kind of have to start throwing some dogs away, or the ones that have been there for a while. I don't know how these dog shelters works and all that. So yeah. Anyways, the next day when she goes to school, she tells Uncle Kiro that do not enter her room. Which again, kind of a funny moment is that Uncle Kiro's like doing something on the web, and you would think that he's messing or doing something like ridiculous because that's who Uncle Kiro is. But it's actually real that he's a web designer, so it's actually logical for him to be at his house this early in the morning working. Actually, okay, I don't know how early Japan schools open, because Japan schools are always like depicted like whenever there's a school anime or anything, it's always depicted in like looks like it's always open and you start your day at the middle in the middle of the day, like when the sun's already up. There's nothing like I don't know. Maybe it's just my country where it's always like where it's there's barely a sun out or the sun is just rising, but Japan for some reason always has the sun already. It's always seems to be in the middle of the day when everyone is. Although it's also very often for schools to be depicted with ending with being at sunset or when school day ends being sunset. So maybe Japan schools just start later in the day and they start when it's already a couple hours of the day and then end closer to nighttime or at least a little bit beforehand because I think it's usually extracurriculars that end up with sunsets. But whatever. The time how Japanese schools up start and end is up to them to decide. So yeah. Anyways, Chio. Well, so basically, I'm thinking it's in the morning hours, but well, maybe that's just some. Maybe he just needs to finish someone's work because it does seem like he's focused on it. He's also kind of like, all right, so this is okay. This is how this is the image. Okay, let's see here. Or maybe I should alter the font text here. All right, all right, all right. You know, it seems like Uncle is actually kind of professional here. You know, so yeah. Anyways, you know, he also tells Chio that it's not like he's gonna enter the room without permission in the first place. I guess maybe she thought that he'll try to go clean the. He's gonna try to clean the her room or something, but regardless, she but regardless, he agrees or something. But and she goes. As in, maybe she thought maybe if he heard weird noises, he would try to enter it or something, but it doesn't really matter because Uncle Hero is just chill about it. Until he realizes, wait a minute, why would Chio come and tell me not to enter her room? Is she enter her rebellious face? Which he then starts to bleed from his eyes, which is more what you expect from Uncle Hero. As we get his like image of Chio be like, "You're so gross, Dad." So yeah. Anyways, we then cut to after school hours as we have Chio giving well being some in kind of a pop like place giving like no giving post pictures of the giving like a little bit of flyers for the dog adoption. She's looking for people someone to take care of the dog and all that. As I guess Japanese people have a lot more common sense than people from my country, because in my country you can go 5 minutes in the big cities without there being someone with a dog. Like seriously, it's 7 in the morning or a couple of minutes before past half past well some past half, and you have like 5 dog walkers around. Actually, not even that. I mean, I've seen dog walkers with like multiple dogs 5 in the morning, or was it 6? Somewhere in between that area. Like, how much many dogs do people in my country have? And apparently, that's not even the most populated dog area. Well, the most populated dog city of them all. But regardless, how much in common sense do Japanese citizens have compared to citizens from other countries? Is Chio this is a problem because she needs someone to adopt a dog. Which we then have Rento showing up being the child that he is, then seeing how what was bothering Chio because he states that she's been 65% less happy today than usual. As Chio explains to her about the well, he basically sees the dog flies and he's like, oh, I see what's going on. You want a dog? You know, I could talk to my parents and we could get a dog, which I imagine of Rento's parents, but it's in such a way where you don't know if it's meant to be they live together or are they like just on a speaking term with each other or anything. I mean, we at least know that Rento's parents that he would need permission from his parents to have a dog, essentially. But regardless, Chiro states that yes, you would be able to do. I'm certain that you could keep it, or anyone in the family could really. I mean, look at the Hanazos for crying out loud. But this is more than her burden. She doesn't want to burn this on the rest of the family. You know, like if I ask someone in the family, it would be kind of like abusing their kindness. Like if I ask her, hi, she would accept that, and then the dog, but it would be more from a perspective of, oh yeah, sure, trust mommy, hi, on this baby Chio. So it's not really best to rely on them on this kind of manner. It's supposed to be her kind of responsibility, which is I feel like more of a plot contrivance, but whatever. And yeah, so Rentaro does acknowledge, or fine if you, or Rentaro says, it's fine, I understand you want to deal with this with yourself, but, I can still help you pass the flyers. Like, I don't think you're really burdening the family or me or anyone if we just, like, help you with the flyers. It doesn't really change anything. So, yeah, we didn't have, it, we don't really focus on it much, but we just get like one panel where they're like passing on the flyers, which fun fact, there's apparently a side character in a chapter actually looks resembles like an American girlfriend or girlfriend that we had in the Hana Zone the Hai's hair chapter, when we had like this shots of how the Hai's hair is covering the entire planet, and she's and it's like cuts to different cities. Like we do have like one side character who looks resembles her. I mean, I'm not saying that it's like this is the same character. It could just be like a similar like design. I mean, we're talking about this out of shot or frame where the girl who just has like pigtails, like, and we don't even like see a bottom them in the that chapter. Like we don't even know what she's dressed. So who knows? We're gonna have to wait and see. The on that side, that's like supposed to be a big hint to her, like, oh, she transferred schools, so the next girlfriend's gonna be a transfer student or something. But we have no, I mean, we are going to have a transfer student. I think it's pretty safe to assume that, but we have to wait until until the next new girlfriend be introduced to see if that is true. Oh my god, I know it. When there is gonna be one of those characters in that panel is going to join the family, everyone's going to be confirmed. Those other two are going to join at some point as well. I mean, it's a guarantee, but it's probably going to be happening when you break it down. So yeah. Anyways, we have Renta and Chio walking home because it's very late, so now people are probably not going to be focusing on the adopting a dog. So yeah, and yeah, they're walking home, and then we cut to some days later. Later, and we have Hiro again having a surprisingly mature moment where he's like, "Gio, you've been hiding something from me, haven't you?" As then Gio is like, she wants to kind of give an excuse, but no, you have. I may not look like it, but I am your dad. We have to be serious about this and all. As Chio brings up the dog, and she apologizes for keeping the dog a secret from Uncle Hero, but he's like, no, this isn't a secret that I've been talking about. You've been keeping your secret that you want to adopt a dog, which could be considered another reason why she didn't want to tell everyone because she wanted to keep the dog, but she realized that because of Uncle Hero's fear, it would not make sense for her to keep a dog. It would be safe for him to keep a dog. So, which is something that Rentaro himself was figuring out. Like, it's not just the fact you want to take responsibility for the dog; it's also you want the dog, which Uncle Hero does again have like this weirdly mature moment where he's like, look, I understand that I am not the best father. I understand I'm not the man that I should be, or that I'm not taking the responsibility that I should, but at the end of the day, I care about you and I will do want to be there. If you have an issue, I want to be the father to help you. I don't want you to carry all the burdens. If you have a secret like this, I want you to come to me and tell me about it. That so yeah, basically is and Chiro expresses yes, I do want to keep the dog, but your fear. So yeah, and Uncle Hiro tells her, do not worry. I've actually been told about I actually learned from mentor about this, and we've actually been working on making sure that I do not get scared of dogs. Which he then opens the door, revealing how he's been working on it, and which is just Rento pretending to be a dog. As we have Rento dressed up as a dog and all fours, as he's like, we spent the last couple of days with the time jump from that panel there, working on making sure I can get over my fear of dogs. As we have like a bunch of panels with Rento like being there with Uncle Ben. Oh, please don't kill me. A dog's not scarier than T-Rex. A dog's not scarier than T-Rex. I'm gonna die. As Rento bites him, and then there's also like reveal. Oh, Rento has been reading books about being a dog, and he has somehow to abandon humanity to become an animal. Because let's be straight honest, so Stama literally has become an animal at this point. So yeah, anyways, then we have Uncle Kyo treating into like a dog a bit, like belly rubs and all that type of stuff. which then has leads into a little bit of a joke with so Chio just look at this being more like dumbfounded because like I know what this is supposed to be like a very kind-hearted direct moment, but the whole pretending to be a dog and robbing your nephew you is kind of ruining the moment, the mood a bit. And but anyways, the point is Uncle Hero has to get over his fear. As then Uncle Hero invites the dog to come at him to like do that little patting all that. But unfortunately, while Uncle Hero may have removed his fear of dogs, it doesn't change the fact that dogs wanna jump and eat him. So when he approaches the dog, it just bites him in the hand. With Uncle Hero be like, "See, Gio, this is fine. This is completely fine." As he's making it his hat. Oh my God! Please, let us staying together. I cannot piss my. If I piss myself right now, she's something I'm going to be convinced. Oh. As and I was like, "Pat, I'm good, good uncle, good uncle, good uncle." So yeah, with this, she was able to adopt the dog since Uncle is fine with it, and well, and he has developed immunity to dogs, at least to a certain degree. So yeah, they're not able to be safe, and who knows? Maybe she also thinks that maybe he'll stop biting Uncle Hero if he's with him 24/7. Maybe also that's kind of optimistic idea, but yeah. Anyways, then we have like a little family photo with Uncle Kero, Gio, and the new dog with Renter as well there. Even though Renter points out we're not married yet, so. But obviously it says it doesn't matter. All you need to do now because I'm then going to like jump or I'm gonna be hunting you about this whole thing. Not that he means not being in the family photo or being just like a dog, but one of the two is going to be the reason. As we have them taking a picture with each other, with all the dogs still being bitten. As then it's late and so Rentaro goes home. As when Uncle here tells him he could stay the night. I mean, I am your uncle after. It doesn't really change much when you break it down. But Rentaro says now it's a school night, so I have to go, kind of thing. So yeah. Anyways, we didn't have Uncle Hill grabbing the dog and be like, "Oh, anyways, I'm going to be, we're gonna be in the bathroom or somewhere else." Because so you two can do whatever you want. You can do the kissing on everything. So Uncle Hill goes as they are embarrassed by him again because like there's a reason why it's surprising how reasonable this chapter is when it comes to Uncle Hill. So we kind of have to go back to his goofy personality. So yeah, we didn't have the Chio Granto case. As then we end this chapter off in the epilogue sort of fashion with Uncle Kero getting his fingers numb again. As like, what we gonna name this dog? If he's gonna be a dog, we should at least have a name for him. We can't be like John Wick. As Uncle Kero thinks of Rentaro because Rentaro, yeah, because he thinks, oh, it would be so sweet if you name him the dog after your boyfriend. But just like this would be confusing. But we could name him Wantaro, which is meant to be I love you or something. I love you so much or something. Like it's kind of meant to be like just a name thing. But yeah. So I guess this dog's name is gonna be Rentaru, Wantaru right now for some time. I also kind of feel like it's probably meant to be less confusing for the readers, but whatever. So yeah. Anyway, that's the end of 100 Girlfriend, chapter 199, which means next chapter is gonna be 200. This is gonna be interesting. Is it gonna be another like a wedding dress kind of clothing chapter? What kind of theme would make sense? Honestly, the captains are gonna have another like wedding designs. Actually, how many wedding design dresses have there been for these girlfriends? Because I think besides the one for the chapter 100, there's also been some other ones. Like I know Hai got a wedding dress once. Well, Hakai got a wedding dress once. But I think they also had like dressed up as in a wedding sense at some point, but I don't remember. But yeah. Anyways, now with the more down to earth series out of the way, it's time to talk about some action with Four Knights of the Apocalypse, chapter 173, titled "The Dialogue." Sure, if you want to name that chapter that, you can. I would say someone is down bad for someone else, but whatever. So, anyways, we start this chapter off with characters reacting to how well a terrible matchup Nauseans and Rufus are with one another, with Nani being panicky and Dobbs telling him, "Yeah, nothing we can do, Marge. This was a bad matchup from the very beginning." So yeah. So yeah. Anyways, now it's explained to what this miasma does and how dangerous it is by saying, "Oh, it's like super toxic. It causes so many much poison. Like one touch of it can kill you. I mean, it's even evaporating the ground that they're standing on. The only reason why Rufus is fine is because he has an immunity towards it in a form. So yeah, as then Nazians thinks about like taking a bit of the miasma from the purgatory to like make a cure. But then we go into a flashback where we have Nazians talking with Hendrickson, and he tells, and basically the point of this conversation is explained to us why Nazians can't just take the miasma and make an antidote for it. It's explained that while Nazians does have a higher immunity, he doesn't have a pure immunity. Like he still would be affected by these drugs. It's just not as dangerous. It's not just as deadly as it would be on a normal person. Because like remember when we first saw Nazians, he took the same drug as Percival did, but and he did fall unconscious normally. It's just that he was able to make a cure, and I think he was also knocked out for. Oh, I mean Percival's kind of a difficult person to really judge, but regardless, he was knocked out for a short period of time and was able to restore and make the antidote. When miasma, this purgatory miasma is kind of a little too dangerous to do that because even a single bit could kill you. And Rufus even states, "Oh, like it's like one of those." Hendrickson mentioned and actively told Nauseans. Like he even kind of even saw Nauseans like he probably met a lot of rookies like Nauseans in a sense, so he probably was like, Nauseans, do not. If I tell you, do not risk with poisons. If someone says a poison can kill you even with the tiniest bit, do not take your chance. Immunity be damned. I've seen rookies take chances because they are better chance than others in certain very dangerous situations and they died. So do not take these chances." Which is the same thing as Rufus says about how well he basically confirmed this like one of those chances that Nazians could not overcome, or he could not get his poisons out. So Nazians can't really use that poison because he was actually told not to risk such toxins, and Rufus is literally telling him how this is like one of those poisons. He doesn't know about a flashback, but he does know that this would. But he's just trying to boast, not anything. As then Rufus tells him, "Alright, you have three options. You can either go on and fight me and die from the miasma, you can you can surrender, or you can just fall." And Nazians doesn't really want to take any of those options because he wants to get his revenge for what they've done, what Turret has done to Anne, but he doesn't know what to do exactly until he start until he then suddenly remembers that he has the ability to fly as he like jumps down but then starts levitating above the ground, so he's in a safe zone as they are kind of dumbfounded by this, the fact that Nazians can fly, and even Nazians like, "Oh shit, I almost forgot I can fly." I really need to remember stuff like that a little bit better. They're all kind of dumbfounded, but Rufus says that, "Oh, it doesn't matter if you can fly because the Nazim also goes up. It doesn't just go out, it also goes up. So it should, in theory, also strike at Nazians, but Dave is not with flying. He can kind of, he's a bit more space to move around because previously it was kind of like a very limited area that he could move around, but now he has a bit of a better scenery. And yeah, and also overstated that this doesn't really change the fight all that much because it's still Roof, because Nonsense still can't get to Rufus. Nonsense is still a close range fighter, and he doesn't really have many so him going close would still result in the same consequences. So he can't really strike. So Nonsense is a bit of a pickle about what to do next. Because I think, "Oh, what can I do? What can I do?" But then, fortunately for Nazians, he gets the protagonist last second power up showing up, where even if it's logical, it's still a bit of a BS that it's only now being activated. As we have Nazian's pendant that he got from King, the little the piece of secret tree, now starting to talk with Nausea, saying, "Hey, I'm here. Hey, I'm here." And Nausea's like, "Wait, who's talking to me?" Is it just the effects of the miasma? Which, funny enough, we do actually have people thinking, is Nausea's blabbering to himself, or is he losing his mind? Is it the effect of the miasma? What's going on? But it's actually just like one of those like this inner world kind of things where the sacred tree is talking to Nauseans from a normal perspective, as Nazians isn't aware of it, but until the secretary tells him, just a picture. Okay, if you want to talk to some, it will be easier for you to talk to someone in present than just picture me. How you would think I look, and I'll be able to talk to you like normal. I mean, you will only be the only one to see me, but it'll be easier for you to communicate as Nazian's pictures him, and he pictures the sacred tree as like a little chibi old man druid kind of Percival, which the sacred tree is like, what the fuck did you have to imagine me like this for? This looks goofy. Could you have made me like a little bit more ancient and more mighty and all that? Which Nazian just looks about, well, this kind of picture I got from the guy that from your voice. I kind of used your voice as an idea how you would look like, and that's how I imagined you with check a trivia. You know what? It doesn't really matter. I will just tell you how to use my power and how to use the sacred tree. So yeah, and at this point, the audience and the announcer is kind of like, okay, it's time that we actually have this fight go somewhere because this one's going to be like an stalemate. Anyways, Nazians surrender or keep fighting because it's supposed to be a battle, and everyone kind of agrees to start fighting. So, anyways, Nazians, now that's been told how to use the sacred tree, is now going to fight back, and he now uses. Now he doesn't explain. He only has two forms of the sacred tree that he can use, and one of the forms that Nazians use is the sacred tree first form sponge Percival, which makes like a giant Percival doll that confuses everyone. We're gonna be like, what the hell are we staring at? As he has that jump on Rufus, which Rufus immediately like jumps away from. As Rufus looks at that thing, like, what is up with that strange doll? And it's revealed that strange doll actually is absorbing the miasma that Rufus opened from the crack of purgatory, and then but it doesn't like remove it until Nazian uses this doll to like turn it into its second form, the spirit spear, as he then sends it at the purgatory open to the completely destroy that thing, so he can then like come closer and like strike at Rufus, or like put the sacred spear right up to his throat and like slamming him to the ground. Be like, "Deuce, give." Oh, doesn't mean give. Like Rufus immediately gives. I'm like, I gave. So yeah, Rufus is the one that ends up surrounding this fight, not Nausean. So yeah, it's a Nausean's W, which we kind of expect Nausean to get a W here. I don't think it's that hard take. I mean, we all kind of were predicting it. I mean, when you look at the fight matchup, it was kind of obvious. Like you had I mean, the only one you could, I guess, say was kind of up in the air was like the mystery package one, but even before we knew it was the opposite, it was like very much everyone said mystery package would beat Donnie. So yeah. The Alpha must love flying on Donnie because he's like the only one that actually had a pretty humiliating defeat, while Anne would have won her match if it wasn't for Turret cheating, and Nazian did won his match despite Rufus being his worst possible outcome. Kind of hope that Donnie gets a bit of a redemption later on, but we have to wait until that point in the story. So yeah, Rufus is out, and we have to see how he's gonna be participating later. Maybe he's gonna be. I want to get some kind of like payback for Nauseans later on, when the OJ fights Nauseans. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end for 4 nights, as we didn't get to Fairy Tale 100 Years Quest, chapter 174, titled Super Speed as a Way of Life. So, yeah. Anyways, we start this chapter off with captors kind of staring each other down, like we have Ignia staring down Ferris, and Ezra staring down Red, as we then have kind of like, that moment where do not underestimate your opponents or the villains moment, as we have Ignia saying, Oh, do not underestimate dragons, Black Ferris, as we have a reveal that Alderaan is not that. He is simply, well, been reduced to a spore and is now growing back as he, like a giant tree, emerges from the ground, screaming his return. As we have the Orakion groups being surprised, like, well, didn't you say you killed them? If I did melt him, I guess it didn't. I'm guessing this is not the same way as how he survived. Alderaan survived Acnologia, which, honestly, I feel like I think we all should have suspected that Alderaan might come back. Like, it was a really weird way how Alderaan was kind of handled, so it made kind of sense that he was just kind of spurred back from the ground up. So, yeah, Alderaan was just. I guess they did destroy him, namely, but then he was just able to regenerate at some point. So, yeah, we didn't have. Yeah. Anyways, while the Alderaan is kind of starting to come back, or is back basically, we then continue a bit of the fights between Racer and Bird of all the members, as we have like Bird getting smacked, getting Racer smacking around and kicking Bird because it doesn't really help with the speed. But unfortunately for Racer, we start getting Varys doing like the same thing as Ignia when she's hyping up her demons, saying these aren't just demons, these are all wielders of black magic. So you shouldn't underestimate those beings either. And these demons were created by her prayers. So they are a lot more powerful. So they're not any slouches. So we didn't have like Bird like getting back on his feet, like blasting, using his wings and his wing to like blast Racer away, so he can like just slam him down and start to get on the upper hand of him. As we get in like quick snippets of like other Rockian members also like beating their demons beating the other Rockian members. Like we have the Aimon standing on top or standing on Sorana's neck, getting ready to melt her. We then have Gaia like pushing the other one, their opponent down. We have like Zero blasting his son. We have Blade slashing at Cobra. As we have Miraday getting overwhelmed by Gate, where she also mentions that Gate has similar magic to Hades. So kind of I'm not certain this connection between Hades and Gate is gonna be a bigger thing because like again it's kind of difficult to say if the Oracle members are gonna beat the demons since you kind of think someone else would. I mean, it'd be great if they did beat demons. Don't get me wrong. It just kind of feels a bit of a weird thing that there's kind of like this connection with Hades is between Gate and Hades, and Merida is kind of like the one that's fighting him. Especially since I can't remember if there's anyone that would from the group of Fairy Tail that really would make sense for them to like take him down in a perspective. I guess Makarov, but Makarov is so I mean, Makarov has spent the entire sequel series over and over being established how he's essentially helpless. He's just an old man who's just a figurehead at this point. I mean, a couple of chapters ago, when we had Koba was actively thinking, oh, there's this person who's away that I'm in their minds. Is that the master? The guild master? Oh no, he's just sitting there on his wheelchair sleeping. That's on top of me. So so I don't really know if there's makes sense for someone to be for the Hades connection, or maybe it's just like dark black magic usage. Like Hades also had that black magic, and this guy has black magic, or maybe it's just like the two have similar magic attributes. I'm forgetting what Hades if Hades was there to have black magic, but it's Hades, so I wouldn't be surprised if he did have black magic. So, anyways, we have them regardless, we have them facing, and we're going to see how this fight's going to unfold, if they're going to get out a victory or if they're going to fail, because now we have, we continue the fight between Racer and Bird, because I guess that's the one that we are focusing on, as we have Racer kind of going into his backstory, saying how his prayer, oh, so you guys are similar to those guys that forced us to build their tower, huh? Yeah, that tower. Yeah, at that time, the only prayer I had at that time was so I could leave that house, so I could escape it. That was my only desire at that point. But you know what? Now my prayer has changed from wanting to escape it to wanting to live. So Racer gets like another like end of chapter like W on Bird by kicking him again, which is like what the fourth time at this point. Well, Bird really, if anyone of the demons is gonna fall here, I would definitely say Bird is because he's been getting his ass kicked by Racer like so many times at this point. But we're gonna have to wait and see again how these fights are going to unfold. They're going to like end with the Orochian being the demons, or they're going to be failures again. Like we have to wait. I mean, I would not be so. I mean, with how generic their names are, I would not be surprised if this is just like the proto versions, and then Hephaestus is going to create like the actual forms. Either that, or she's gonna go down the like. Oh well, actually no. Then actually, I mean, okay, if she creates Orochian 6, she could then create the. Okay, we might actually go. I'm trying to think if it would make sense to have go like in the direction of having fairies like create groups that are counterparts to groups that were previously antagonists in Fairy Tail. Like a group that was. Okay, we start with Orochian 6, and that's like the first like. I guess elemental folk could also be considered like a kind of that kind of group, so maybe it will not work from that perspective. But I mean, like she has like first makes a group that's like a copy of the Orochian members. Then she makes a group that's like the Seven Kin parody, counterparts. And then we have like a group that's supposed to be like the Tartarus Demons counterpart, nine demon gates. But I don't know. It's just speculation because it's kind of like we have all the demons here. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of the chapter. We're gonna have to see how these fights are going to unfold later. Anyways, with Fairy Tail out of the way, we ironically have One Piece. I'm saying ironically because in the last Moj video, that's just general topic, he actually had like a lot of like Fairy Tail, One Piece, false Daft comparisons, like how Oda is essentially doing Fairy Tail when it comes to character Daft's like Soul. And now we have One Piece to talk about next, so kind of a fine little parallel, honestly. So yeah, anyways, we have One Piece chapter 1133 titled Nice Things. So yeah, that's totally a red flag. But yeah, anyways, we start this chapter off with Robin's perspective after the whole Oha incident. Like the first portion of the chapter is mostly just us seeing how Robin lived with her escaping and the propaganda. Like we see Spandam's dad there as he's dying. It was crazy. See, it was insane. We were there. We were evacuating the innocent people, but then that demon child, Nico Robin, showed up and used her weird power to kill everyone on that ship. It was insane. Oh, that was traumatizing. Even someone as old and experienced in this business as I am was just flabbergasted at the idea that such a powerful and deadly and murderous child could exist. All that type of propaganda and that type of stuff. So we didn't have like Robin, a bit of explanation on how Robin lived through that time. Like she still wanted, her wandering around the cities, like keeping her hat on, like just looking general mad. But then people are like, wait, are you Nico Robin? Yes, Nico Robin, get her! And we have like a pirates be like, oh, it's an 8-year-old. Oh, grab the guns. We're having an 8-year-old with such a high bounty to get killed. Ironic, her increase was so minimal when she joined the Straw Hats, but whatever. So we then have, her just running away, and then we get like to something that I don't think it was stated beforehand, but maybe it was like followed by some fans. But now we get kind of confirmation at the bare minimum that Nico Robin during that time period when she was a child and was being, attacked and blamed and considered a devil child, she actually has tried to kill herself. Like we have her like stand on the edge thinking, should I just end everything? I mean, it's just so sad and there's like nothing really. But then she remembers of Soul and everything that they've done for them, and she was like, no, I will live despite not wanting to, because this chapter is really meant to make you remember the flashback, to really like make you connect against its memory. It was a while since the last time we had this. Like this is again like this is like I think the end of the middle portion of One Piece before the final portion of part one. Now we're like in the final saga. It's like we are a little over half of we are multiple years from it, like even more. I think it's like, isn't Fair Block like 10 years old now or something? Like I think I remember like I think a couple of years ago, I remember saying like Farrah Bach was like 8, 10 years old or something at that point. But yeah, regardless, let's it's to remind us to give us like in those fields and all that type of stuff. So yeah. No, anyways, we didn't have got back to the present with the Destroyers all docking and sailing. Like we have Goal, where we have Gert with the Destroyers and Sunny and everything going to the village and docking there. We have the Giant Warrior Pirates docking, as we also have a reunion with Hyrudan. And it's like, oh, Destroyers, I'm so happy to see you that you made it. Oh yeah, these here are my four the four giant warriors that I was stuck in. The four of us are gonna help. As we also have like as we also see that what was his Road, the guy who was pretending to be Sun God and all that, and he's like there crucified like I'm not this means to say that he was like being so hard that he's okay. I'm not gonna complain. I'll surf. Or if he's just like trying to kind of get away from it or something. I don't really know, but regardless, we have like this kind of moment, this kind of like moment, fine moment. It's like more, more happy reunion because when we get to reunion between Robin and Sword, it's gonna be a lot more dramatic and a lot more depressing. And very joyful as we then have like Cap's kind of talking, and then we have Cap saying, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving to go meet Soul because Soul is not here. He's actually a little bit down." As everyone's like, "Oh, we'll come with you." As Luffy says, "Consider how much this Soul Giant did for you, Robin. I, as your captain, should go and thank him." So the Giants are like, "Oh, it's fine. You know what? You guys go there for that reunion and come back up with Soul and everything. At the meantime, we all prepare the feast. Like we have this moose that we have to kill, that we killed, that we need to like skin and prepare for dinner. And there's also like the little kid that was in the very bottom of the island also said that they were gonna be bringing stuff later. So if anything, it's a good thing that you guys are gonna know, so we can prepare the feast and everything. As we have the Stryads then departing. I think Gert goes down, and Gert also gives a bit of like an explanation about the Albeth and Big Mom situation. Like, oh, by the way, we are very thankful you took down Big Mom for us. You see, when she was a child, I was friends with her, and but then she did something that's unforgivable for our kind, so we had to like send her back away. We were kind of pissed off about that, and yeah. So we have a thankful about that portion. Ironic because Law and Kit were the ones who got rid of her, but I guess I guess maybe there wasn't that much of a news information anyways, but it is just like I already mentioned about how the information here doesn't really get as much. Well, they don't get as much outside information here as they do, uh, as the other islands do. But they got the information about Luffy becoming a pirate and all that, but becoming a emperor and all that. So yeah, they are, and we're departing the island as they get to the place that Soul is, and that's called the Owl Library, which is like a giant, like just a giant library. That's also I think supposed to be like a double for school. That's like a giant lake around that. So yeah, it's like like very cool visual and a very beautiful visual for the everyone there. And as they as they land on the island, we didn't have like a random woman, probably an assistant teacher or something, being like, "Oh no, it's horrible, Professor Soul." I think I don't know if it's doctor or professor. I think one of those honorifics is used to be like, "So has collapsed. He hasn't been moving at all. What will we do? What will we do?" Some of the Stryads are like, "What?" At this moment, at right this very second, he had to be facing have to have some kind of injury or illness or something right now. Of all things, we're this close to them with Robin. And she was like, "Don't worry, I'm a doctor. Just take me to him immediately. Where's the patient?" As they all kind of panicking, but Robin remembers her first meeting with Soul. Is like, "Don't worry, everyone. It's fine. It's fine." Actually, she does kind of find it a little bit funny. Like, oh, what a silly joke, little thing. Which there's a little bit. I think one of the cops like, "This is not a funny moment. You shouldn't be find this funny. The guy you want to meet is possibly who knows what kind of condition he is." And then they go to where Soul has collapsed on the ground, and Rob is like, "Don't worry, I'll go see him myself first." Because again, she remembers the first meeting, which was that when she first met him, she thought he was that, but then he was like, oh, well, he wasn't. Like, he was just like pretending to be that way, and then he kind of scared her away. Well, he kind of scared her when he revealed he was away, alive and all that. So she realized that's what he's doing. As then she approaches Saul. Saul there as Saul does this, bah, doing the whole thing, and Robin's like, she knew what he was doing. As Saul then reveals, he didn't get scared. As Robin's like, oh, this is such a silly joke. This isn't really a funny joke, you know. And so it's like, oh yeah, sorry, I just didn't know how to greet you. I was so excited that you were coming and all, so I just kind of thought, oh, it'll be funny if I, we reunite the same way how we first met, you know? And so I was like, yeah, but it didn't work. I kind of figured that's what was going on as soon as I saw it. Also, this being in the same position is kind of a done deal, right? Like, it's very low chance that you would be in the same position. But yeah, anyways, so then like, it talks about how he survived being like, oh, I was frozen solid by the ice, but luckily the fire came to me and it burned away the ice. So I was able to escape to Vietnam. I got myself very injured, very burned, as you can see, but I managed to survive that way, which there's a whole like discussion about how logical this is because, well, one thing, Okiji used ice time capsule which destroyed his leg, so him using ice capsule using capsule itself doesn't really make sense that he would be able to survive since it can destroy his leg, as well as the fact that he technically used a different ability because ice time is what a lot of Okiji's moves are named start with. So him saying ice capsule at one point to destroy one of Soul's legs, and then using ice time again doesn't really mean that he used the same ability. It could be something else. Then there's also the question like why no one shoot at the giant if he was in that there. I mean, he was kind of like an obvious sign. Like even if you think that he died from Okiji's eyes, like why didn't you think that he also died from? Why didn't no one even at least try to shove cannibal in that direction? How did a giant not get hit by it? But anyways, all those issues are gonna be to side. Like I don't even know if Otis is going to like give a straight answer. He's just going to say something like, "Yeah, it was very convenient. Yeah, it's very convenient that he survived. That no one shot him. I guess they just didn't think that to even try. I guess they didn't find it would be just a waste of a cannonball at that point." And all that, and there's also gonna be questions about how exactly he fought from the fire because when Okiji throws not Robin and I think Zoro and Luffy as well, Sanji as well probably, when they were first meeting him, they were like, we can't like do quickly. We have to like just use lukewarm water to like slowly unfreeze them. So yeah. Soul then asks Robin to come closer so he can get a better look at her. She's like kind of like she's kind of childishly playful with him. In this scene, like she's kind of like walking like a child, kind of doing all that, which is kind of nice to see. As then he's like, I say like, oh, you've grown into such a fine woman. Oh, I'm so happy for you and everything as they have like a teeth like a little hawk as they're crying. Oh, I'm so happy you're alive. I'm so happy you're alive. I'm so happy we managed to reunite. And then after 22 years, we managed to finally got to reunite and all that. And as we have them all like tearful, we see like Luffy being very cheerful. Yes, they are reunited. I'm so happy about that. As then we have everyone except Zoro and Jinbei having like, oh, this is so happy, this is so joyful. Oh, keep it together. I don't know why Zoro and Jinbei are not crying as well, but it would ruin Zoro if he was crying. Like it would ruin his badass because Zoro cannot have emotional sad moments. Honestly, it's not like a real badass, like a real. It's so beautiful that even makes a grown man cry. Go on, dear. Kind of moment. But outside of those moments, there's no way Zoro is going to cry his eyes out. Jinbei, I don't understand. Maybe it's supposed to show that he's so used to tragedy like this to the point that even this is kind of like he's happy about it, but he's not gonna be bawling his eyes out like the rest are. But yeah, anyways, that's it for this very tearful reunion. It's a very good chapter. Makes me very feel happy about it. It's a very good reunion, but I mean, all of from an eyesight point of view, it's a very good thing, but you have to question the logistics about all the other things. But anyway, that's it for the whole reunion. That's it for the chapter. As we then have One Punch Man chapter 210 titled Recurring. As we start this chapter off in a okay, immediately, at first I thought it was like one of those like revision situations where they were like revisioning a certain chapter ago or something, but no, it's just a very confusing way to establish a flashback because you know, like most mangakas, when they deal with flashbacks, they kind of make it very clear it's a flashback by either making the borders around panels black or something. In this instance, there's nothing like that. It's just this moment and to be fair, I think this is like not. It's not like to be fair, I don't think One Punch Man actually does do the whole black borders between panels when in their flashback, but it's usually a little easier to tell because it's like characters at the moment going into a flashback or having a flashback very obvious. But here it's just we start the chapter off in a flashback, and it's not until you see that Void and Blast like, oh yeah, this is a flashback. So yeah, but anyways, we at least start with Void and Blast very quickly because we have Void fighting someone who's been under the effects of the God's Cube and all that. As we see him clashing with them, as this person talking, "Thank you, Master Void. Your power you've given me is definitely the training I've received from you is definitely going to help the gods in his plans." As he then goes to finish Void up, a Blast shows up and uses his gravity attack to blast this guy's arm off, as then Void takes this opportunity to decapitate him. As we as we have Blast coming and being like, "Oh, you're very powerful. Oh, well, did you know this person?" and all that. As he as Blast, meets Void. As we have there being a little joke about Blast looking weird, as Void's like, "Who are you? You exactly?" As Blast says, "I'm a hero," before the Hero Association was even established. It's in the state, I think, 15 years ago. As Void says, "Oh, you're a weirdo." As Blast like, "No, I'm a hero." So, like how, if you're trying to be a hero, you kind of view as a suspicious individual in a sense. But yeah, anyways, Void then starts to ask Blast about this. Like he tries to probe him because it's clear this person does know something about this guy and what happened to his student. As Void, was Blast asks him if he knows this person because this person referred to him as Master. Void gets suspicious of Blast. He's like, "This was Stain. He was one of my beloved disciples, and now he's dead. So tell me, Blast." As Void starts like crying, he might just be playing an act, but I think he is legitimately upset about that. That he just, thinks he's saying this, manipulating Blast to give him information that could, that could, well, information that could show us if his village is in danger or not. But he's definitely sad about it. Like we get pretty much confirmation at the end of the chapter about his disciple, which is funny enough named Stained. I'm guessing this is maybe this is meant to be like a My Academia reference, but I'm not entirely certain. But yes, anyways, Void reveals that Void states that after Blast explained to him everything about God and all that, he actually then teamed up with Blast, like what was referred to as that Void and Blast were working together. So they went kind of on this like hunt trip to get God's. To get all these cubes and all that. That's like probably Void's revenge for being forced to kill his disciple. And yes, anyways, then uh we see the Blast and Void like sleeping in a campsite. Like Blast is already asleep while Void's like on a hilltop looking around. Maybe they decide to like be best to have like a watchdog. Or maybe he said like I prefer to go to bed later or something. As then, in reality, Void calls for a woman named Selanian Luna, which is Void's sister here, which is also the same woman that we saw in the last chapter being Blast's wife. So it wasn't that Void got cocked by Blast because he can't be cocked. It's just, in this instance, it's just that we are going to a different direction entirely. It was just a wrong assumption. But anyways, he says to Luna, "I need." Blast told me he has like this snitch guy who's apparently his partner in this, and he has like some super scientist that is very useful and all that. I want you to go infiltrate him to get to find out who these people are and if they can be beneficial to us and to bring them to the village. Any unnecessary skill them, a very basic sick moon spy mission or assassin ninja mission, basically. As we have Luna saying, "Yes, brother, I will do this. I will do this for you." As she moves away like the kunoichi she is. Some people said, "Isn't this kind of reviving history because apparently there's no women in the village?" But to be fair, I think it's also been stated that the Void has like multiple villages with his ideology, so it's possible there's some other villages. We've only maybe it's just that the village that Flash was on the didn't have women, but that's not the same village as Void's. But we didn't get to like little. We get to a little like quick flash forwards as we see like Blast and Luna marrying, although in this case she's called Maya. I question if that was really necessary for the mission, but regardless, she's marrying him as Void is just like the best man or something there. Yes, Blast, you can get my sister in this mission. As then it's revealed, and we have like a little moment of them being happy together. But then it's revealed that a little bit in anime, probably one of God's enforcers started attacking and targeting Luna because she was Blast's wife, and that's how she died, and that's how she faced her. Well, got killed. She probably was just she was either protecting her child. She was either protecting Blue, or she was just disarmed, and she ended up dying pretty soon. With Blast being very tearful, and Void being remorseful, but it's kind of more historic manner, like, yes, she died. That's just how the life is, unfortunately, because he can't show that he's his. They probably didn't mention that they're siblings. He probably just oh, hello, Maya. How happy. Oh, so you were dating Maya. Good for you. You truly know how to pick your women. Blast kind of thing, but regardless, Void then in his. I feel like it's meant to be taken as his grief because he starts thinking, I died. I guess this is Luna died. This is just the fate of the week, I suppose. There's nothing to be done. Wait a minute. Could have Blast figured this out? Because now Blast Void starts thinking she was about to find out about all the contacts and all that information. So was Blast going to have figured it out and he wanted to stop her, so he just made this whole thing up? Did he just was he the one who actually killed her and buried and caused her death? So was he responsible? But then Void just looks at how grieving Blast and he's thinking, maybe I'm just thinking that bad coincidences are just as likely with Blast as him being extremely grateful. Quite frankly, I would be more. It's actually more believable that is just an unfortunate coincidence than him actually being able to kill her and then being this grateful about it. So yeah. But anyways, he starts to kind of expand it away. As we didn't see a little bit of time afterwards. I don't think it's a long period of time. Maybe it's like the next couple of days. As soon as like Blast probably was like, all right, I have to go back to my mission. She died, but I cannot let there be many more people like Luna dying because of this. We have to go. As we then have Blast and Void walking in our ruins, as Void is like very disheveled, like she died. She died. Again, he probably didn't tell anyone. He probably didn't feel it. Like he was again, Blast probably wasn't aware that Luna was his sister. So, anyways, Void. Void just walked around as Blast tells him, you also look pretty disheveled. Maybe it's not best that you're here. As Void says, oh, you're the one who should be disheveled, since you'd think Blast is the since Blast was the one who lost his wife. He doesn't know Void's sister. At least it's not. There's no implication that the Blast knew that Luna is is Void's sister. So, anyways, then there's like a bit of a crack in the ruins, as then there was a bit of a collapse, as then they both try to escape, or Blast grabs Void to like escape from the ruins because they're collapsing on top of each other. They look like they're a bit underground ruins. But unfortunately, as the whole thing is collapsing, one of those cubes they are searching for falls down as it touches Void's arm as he's covering himself from the rubble, which teleports him into that makeshift make-believe world where he's on a giant cube as he sees Stain, his disciple, and Luna, and he's like, "Wait, you two are here. What's going on? Why are you two alive? You two are both supposed to be dead. I know I killed you, Stay, and I was at your funeral, Luna." As Luna tells him, or as God gives him that, that whole thing about like how he makes you wanna join and make it work for him. How like kind of similar way as how with Flash, when he thought, oh, if I want Flash to serve me, I need to offer him something like offer him something like being with Sonic and being ninjas together. So here you have him using Void's disciple and sister to get him to join him. So yeah, I'm sorry, in their backs are probably those Kogenbergian flashy things, but regardless, that's what they say. And he has Luna saying, "We are on a mightier mission now than ever. Our mission from God." As we end this chapter with kind of away from this whole the dramatic backstory with Saitama messing around with those like swords that Void had, being like, I wanted a bigger blade to cut the boxes, but I think these blades are a little too big from where I will keep them, As Monoko's just looking at me like, you have katanas, why are you treating them like just oversized blades? Or oversized knives. So, yeah, it's a little joke, and kind of the reason why it's kind of confusing starting these chapters off with flashbacks, unless we are already aware of them, but regardless, that's the end of the chapter. And I'm going to guess that's going to be revealed, or the way they're gonna like try to reason with Void is that Black's going to reveal. Oh, Luna already told me everything. Actually, when she said that we were going to reveal everything, it was actually just me telling you everything that's going on. Since if you just want to benefit your village, there's nothing. I have no objections towards it. No, so maybe I guess that's the route we might be going with this backstory that like uh, Blast is going to reveal all that information. I don't really know. It's like it feels like a weird thing to fully explain because remember, okay, let me tell you how this happened in the webcomic or how this competition went in the webcomic. Flashy Flash and Sonic defeat the olden ninjas. They get told that Void is there and they're gonna have to deal that he's going to fight them. They go to fight him and he's completely off screen with Saitama already having the two katanas and a few other items from him. So that's literally how that whole thing is done in the webcomic. Maybe I'm forgetting a few in details, but that's basically it. In this one, we have Blast there. We reveal that Blast's wife is Void's sister, and we get like even the definition that Blue is indeed Blast's son. So yeah, that's how things are there, and it's something here. Definitely, I'm far more explained, far more manga like story here. But anyways, that's the explanation. So I'm assuming it's going to be revealed by Blast that he knew it, probably to like establish it like he was told she told him everything, she revealed everything. The information you were getting was just there to like ease you into like being told because like you would not have much of an objection to like if Luna told him, he's willing to give you all us. I explained to him the situation and everything, and he's willing to give us all the information we would want. But we would be kind of suspicious of it, so it's best to just do it in a very slow process. But then this whole thing happened, and they just didn't know how to continue because Blast did not know. Blast knew, well, Void did not know that Blast was already aware of everything. But yeah, that's at least what I'm speculating is going to be revealed, and how Void is going to be like, I guess, calm down, or before he kind of loses it a bit. I mean, I could see like a thing where like Saitama defeats Void in some way and gets the last couple of items within Void. Blast explained to Void, Luna told me everything. I know all of the information. The thing that shocked me, or the thing I was surprised, was that that's the offer that they got made you with Luna and Stain, your disciple, point sister. That's the thing that gave me a shock into my systems. So yeah. Anyways, that's where I'm guessing this is going, but we have to wait until next chapter to see if that's the case, or a couple of chapters. Again, it depends really on what Blast's reaction is gonna be to all this. So yeah. Anyways, after One Punch Man, we go to Chainsaw Man, chapter 186, titled Tank, Blush, Bajoom! I think that was the final one supposed to be a sound effect. Well, the final two are supposed to be sound effects, but I'm not entirely certain. So yes, anyways, we start this chapter with Puchita running towards the aging devil, be like, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna get you! As we then have the aging devil being like, Public Safety Commission. As it stands, the Chainsaw Devil is approaching this opposition. The issue is that things stand right now, he's not going to eat me. Meaning that I will have to prioritize focusing on being force-fed down his throat. Meaning I need contracts to be able to get him to do to be for and so contracts with you guys, so I'll have an easier time doing so. With public sector should be like, it's fine, you can use us for this kind of purpose. We have no issue. If you are literally if the contracts are literally make it so I can shove myself down his throat, it's fine. As the aging now as the contract. Alright, the contract is your fingernails, as we have like all the characters losing their fingernails. As we didn't have Puchita, his body getting kind of destroyed and ripped apart, as it's still on the move, still moving, as Dan just eating the organs from that tree. To like give it like the infinite movement, so to prevent Puchita from getting destroyed and eaten, getting destroyed and all that. As and the agent that was like, that did not work. I see. Alright, Public Safety Commission members, we need to make contracts so you'll be able to survive, because you guys would be more useful to me alive than being dead as things stands. But then Fumika, surprisingly enough of all characters, considering what cowardly bitch she is, actually tells the aging devil that it's fine if he wants to make contracts that will let him eat them. The point of this is for him to be devoured so humanity could progress. And she kind of explains why she is like being making it to her, and why she's signed with this, because remember, like Fumika, as soon as things got way out of hand, or as soon as things got out of hand, she was kind of just like backing away and running away like a coward. So she explains the reason why she's going with this is because if this prophecy, a great prophecy about the demons, devils coming and destroying everything, is to pass, humanity needs to evolve. So for that to happen, we need to get rid of you, so we will not have to worry about aging. That will grant us like with a higher potential. So if our lives are all that requires for humanity to survive, then we shall do it. Make those contracts with us. So do whatever contracts you need, so you can get shoved down some man's throat. Which Andrew never isn't like doesn't make like a big speech about, but he's like, alright. He's just like, alright. Get rid of contract liver, as we didn't have Fumika's liver getting destroyed or ripped apart or something, and she starts spilling blood. Blah. As then we have like Chainsaw Devil again getting his body destroyed. Then Aging Devil's like, it doesn't work. Ice is in another guy, that one next to Fumika's eyes gets ripped off, and the Puchita's his body gets again destroyed over and over again, and I think at that point then Puchita just grabs his heart, because it's in the shape of Puchita, and I think Chainsaw Devil's heart is Puchita's shaped, so he just grabs the heart and just flunks it by the looks of things at where the aging devil is, because he's very close to it, and then she does, what? Even that wasn't enough to stop him? Oh, damn it. As Puchita's gonna come there, and I'm guessing we're going to have like the Chainsaw Devil regenerating from Puchita's heart, as the agent is probably thinking to herself, what kind of contract could I make that would grant me the ability to be shoved down his throat? Ah, my god. So, yeah. This was such a good, like, cool little movement, kind of showing characters, the villains, with like the Public Safety Commission's willingness to also sacrifice themselves for the safety and humanity, as well as the aging devil, kind of showing that he's on the. It's kind of a weird thing about him. He's kind of like, if I were to describe the aging devil, the way he is, it seems to be more of a sense of he understand. He's not a very like. He doesn't like. What would be the right term to use? Okay. He has no objection. Like he has no objection to cruelty to humanity. He doesn't grieve humanity is dying. He doesn't like. Oh no, I can't believe you died. Like he's not in that kind of sense towards like oh no, poor humans, poor like kind of being sad about it. It's more like he likes humans from a more intellectual perspective, and thinks that they'll be better if they develop and grow, and does think that their potential for development is better if it was just not limited to just their age. So he thinks, oh, I'm an issue. So if they want to get rid of me, I will not object towards it. So, oh, you guys plan on having me be eaten by Chainsaw Man, so I'll be completely dead and removed from the existence, so you'll be able to live forever but not worry about aging? That's good for me. Let's make deals. I am all for it. But he also does seem to have like some sort of respect because like, oh, I don't want you all to die. Oh, what? You guys are willing to die so I will be shoved down his throat? Fine, let's do it. I have no objections. As long as the humanity itself survives forever, it's gonna be good for me. I'm getting my victory here, essentially. So aging Neville agrees, and he does do everything that he can. He honors their wishes, essentially. So it's a very nice development for the aging Neville, all things considered. Like a very good aging Neville kind of chapter, making it. It's like, yes, he's evil in the sense of the deal that he's making with, killing the children, but he at the bare minimum. Was ever said the deals the devils make are actually mandatory for the devils to make? Like, it's not like one of those things where it's like, you cannot, it's like the deal could be whatever. It has to be something specific, but whatever, we are going to have to, whatever, the aging devil does. If that is mandatory, if the deals are mandatory, then I do understand why he needs to kill the children. Although, to be fair, maybe he just doesn't value children in a high capacity. Like, if he's removed, then maybe the children will not be able to grow as much as adults in general, So maybe that's kind of the thing here. Like there'll be maybe adults themselves are gonna be more better in development in children or something. Or maybe he's in there for like children could be spared forever. So like it doesn't matter if we kill like billions of children. People will have an infinite amount of time to like make new ones. Kind of in logic. But regardless, aging devil is preparing is kind of on that side. So an interesting chapter for the aging devil, all wrong. They kind of a nice little development for the Public Safety Commission to make them like already at least like trying to make it better, the better world and all. So yeah. Anyways, with it Chainsaw Man out of the way, it's time that we go to the final chapter of the week, where the versus chapter 21 titled "The Chief of the Titans Gimbag versus the 23rd Demon Lord Diagonal." Diagonal? Well, whatever. Anyways, we start this chapter off a little before last chapter's ending with Diagonal drinking her tea as the giants teleport in, and it's kind of from her perspective here, as she sees the Titans there. It's like, oh my, what strong bodies just showed up out of nowhere. Hello, new friends. How are you doing? How did you get here? Hey, have some tea. Being very like, oh, let's be very cheerful, being very elegant, happy, like, very girly, that type of stuff. As we have the giants kind of be confused as they're just kind of looking at the organs now. They're like, oh, what's this? It smells sweet. Can I eat it? As the game is like, if it tastes good, gives me a piece as well. They're not really understanding that what the Agnos is actually saying, because only the third son is the only one with a real brain. And I don't want to say he's the only one with a brain, but at least he has like the most normal level intelligence. Like he's the most, the most like if there was a meeting, he would be the negotiator. So we then have the Alex now saying, "Oh, hello. Would you guys mind working for me, or would you guys mind if I be my friends and do the experimentation and everything?" As then the third son shows up and says, "We don't. we got teleported here randomly. Would you be perhaps could you get us back to where we were previously? My father wants to find the guy who's there. As the original is not really focusing on that. She's just like, oh, you're such cuties and all that, and such big muscles on that. And Schema thinks, is this woman stupid or something? As the third son is just like, no, I think she's just, oh no, she's understanding what we are saying. It's just she has one of those personalities where our statements don't matter. As then which is a pretty kind of funny conversation when you kind of look at it from that kind of perspective. But anyways, then the Arsenal starts explaining to her that, oh, this place here is my laboratory. Kind of, in the demon army, I'm in charge of in strengthening and making the demons better. For example, these demons here that you see, that my darlings, as she with like a lot of like demons who like dressed like fancy butlers and being very like gentlemanly, kind of like playboy, like playboys for women. Were low-ranking demons that got hurt during battles and came to me. So I experimented, I made them stronger and stronger than they are, and are now essentially as powerful as like high-ranking devils, which I'm assuming are like what Kevin was. So yeah, as we didn't get to like kind of an explanation to us exactly what kind of villain Dirknot is, with her as being kind of like a battle of strength and science, because the Exotics talks about how she's upgrading them, increasing their skills, increasing their bodies, developing, making everyone stronger through scientific achievements. As then the third son says, we do not believe in this form of strength or in this form of power you are talking about. The power we believe is by putting our bodies to their limits, training them, making them stronger, making them bigger. That's how we are becoming stronger. That's what my father said. As they give access, I never said anything so covertly articulated that. As the first, I was like, shut up, Dad. This is a discussion about class. We need to talk like we have more dignity than we actually do. I just love the third song. I will be really tragic when he dies. Because like, I mean, the guy's so entertaining having him be there. I guess the Alpha probably realized that having all of them talking, all the Johns talking in a similar manner would just kind of be boring, so he decided to give the third son a bit more like the straight man of the Giants. But yeah. Anyways, we didn't have the others not be like, the others still talk about them joining her and all that, and how this is all for the Great Demon King, but Gimbak says, you know what? I am done listening to you beg for your lives. Time to if you can't get us back, then we're just gonna kill you. With the Argus now not take it seriously. Like, well, if you're not gonna give me your bodies willingly, they will just have to take it by force. As she sends her darlings to go slice it down, but Gimbak just easily wipes the floor out with these darlings. Since again, these are probably more keen. These demons are more likely to be on the level of Kevin. And Gameback was able to one-shot the stronger form of the aliens that were considering demons no threat to them. So obviously he would just be able to defeat them easily because he's like literally that much stronger. Within revealing that within him attack, also saying someone was throwing some rocks at Diagonal, but then Ferraccio, the 23rd hero, the guy who kind of looks like a reference to a character from the 80s fantasy series. I know there's someone I've seen a character design similar to him, but I can't put my name on which character it was. But regardless, he's able to call it, and then Diagonal reveals that the Ferraccio is her favorite experiment because he was like the strongest experiment that she created. And he has now become like the Chimera hero for Casio, as it's revealed that he now becomes like he has like a centaur's lower portion, and then he also, I think it's meant to be like it's not a horse. I think it's meant to be like so it's supposed to be some kind of other creature. He's called Chimera, so I think he might just be like a lower half. He's like Chimera, but then he has has that little crystal in his belly, his chest, which has his little fairy that was in him. And he has like his arm, I think, becomes like a blade as well. It's a very cool design. And then we see that the other was actually even able to like forcefully put the hero and the fairy bond. She was able to force those two bonds together. So he's able to like use that power At least that's the way it's shown. It might be weaker than if the hero and the fairy normally bounded together, but this is what I'm thinking is the idea here, that she was able to force that connection together, which is really a big thing because remember when Elio used his form of the fairy, it was like this very, it was able to like knock out the new humanity and the giants and cut them down a lot quicker. So it's kind of showing us how powerful. Again, it's a demonstration of Gimbek's power here. Even this Chimera hero Fercasio, who has like this, who's forcing, able to utilize this power that was enough to defeat or like to slay the Titans and Neo humans. Even though until like he has that against children, and even then he was still able to like cut them all down. It's still like no match because again Gimmicks easily able to crush him down until crush him down easily, but that also like destroys the ground, so they're all collapsing down as they end up falling to the Argonauts' laboratory as they are first kind of confused on where they are with since they see look around. They first think it's like a meat storage because they see like a bunch of demons being tied, strung up there as they're like they're alive, but they're kind of like but they're not in any position to really do anything. So they're like, this must be is the first time like it's just like this must be what she does to her friends before she begins her experiments. As then we have the Oxenol preparing to fight herself. Well, herself. Again, she just saw this, so she does not going to be a very good straight up combatant. She's going to do something else. As we also find out that the Oxenol is actually not like Kitsune or something like that, because the Oxenol is actually a I think they're called spider monkey, because the way that she like moves more like a spider, but the fur makes it kind of look like a monkey, so it's meant to be more like a spider monkey. I mean, that's all the things, right? That's what they're called. I'm not crazy to think that, right? But regardless, she's then using. She then uses their bodies, and I'm guessing they already exist in Chimera part that she had. And she like fuses all those together to make herself the burst Chimera suit, which is just like a weird, like there's like weird. Um, I want to say those like what they're called. I mean, there has to be a word for those things. Like when you have like you can clearly tell that it's supposed to be very humanoid, but then there's like parts of it where it feels like it's showing their rapes, and then it's like parts of it that looks like an animal creature, like a weird kind of that kind weird suit that she's putting on, and she's kind of manipulating like a puppet. As she then uses her powers to like tie up all of the lower king giants and the third side and everyone there. As we then have attacking at Gimbak, she's like hitting in him, and she's like, "Oh, you are pure power fighter like Yachi is." So she's aware of Yachi, as she slams at him a bit. As then it looks like she has Gimbak on the ground. No, she's slamming at him a bit, but he's blocking it. But then she uses like a tail piece or like another threat to like get into Gimbak's system to not paralyze his body, to knock him down. At least, I think it's supposed to be a no. I don't think it's a sleeping. I think it's just meant to be like a paralyze the body, the poison type of thing to knock him down. As she then sends like necromancer's leeches. She apparently used a bunch of random body parts. I'm guessing them. Actually, I'm kind of questioning how big necromancers are in this universe, because necromancers are a type of class of a fighter. So if she's using something called necromancer leeches, this makes me think there must be some kind of necromancer summonings, right? Maybe necromancer is like a type of creature in this world. I don't know, but she uses them to like go inside of Gameback to like kill him from the inside. So she'll be able to use that, well, or at least paralyze him completely. So she'll be able to experiment and create him to make a perfect soldier for the Great Demon King. But unfortunately, this is to show us how powerful Gimbak is. So all of her little poisons and all that is meant to be nothing, as in she Gimbak reveals to us all that he wasn't actually paralyzed or anything. He just fell asleep. He just was like, what's going on? Oh yeah, I was in the middle of battle. Sorry, this battle was so worthless and meaningless that I fell asleep. You're just so boring. The other guy was far better. I mean, the guy took my punch and came right back on, even though I was clearly overwhelming him. Like, that guy was a true warrior. You are just nothing. Makes a little joke about those necromancer leeches being like, wait a minute, I have something in my nose, so just yes, they're out of me. Good. Alright, this was a waste of my time, honestly. Alright, time to get rid of you and kill you. You're just boring. As he then, like, just starts grabbing the Chimera suit, uh, grabbing the Chimera suit, is like, alright, the last guy survived because I punched him out of my area. But you, I will not do the same mistake. This time I'm condensing you so you would not be able to escape me. And then he just completely overwhelms the Chimera, so it starts like crumble it all together. And he's actually able to do it so quick. Actually, I think he does like some kind of wrestler move to like completely like squish the body together. Well, okay, he first does a wrestler move to make the body in like a position where she cannot escape from. I guess she made that suit so strong that even she can break off. And I guess he also doesn't have a transformation state. I guess maybe that's not a universal thing for all demons. And she's kind of trapped inside this as he's like condensing it. But then another set of dolls shows up as they're like, Lord, Lady Diagnova, thinking, and she's like, oh, these dolls are gonna come and help me and save me. Go, my minions! But unfortunately for her, those dolls that she made, those guys who were like praising her constantly in the beginning of the chapter and now, seem to just be there to praise her. They don't have any combat ability or they cannot do more complicated stuff. So they're just like, Lady Dioxon, Lady Dioxon, Lady Dioxon! Which then angers Diggs because because she doesn't realize how useless she made these dolls and all that. So it's like, all right, you're useless. And then she starts to actually back for her lives because she realizes she can't really do anything. She can't break out the Chimera suit, and she cannot do it, and she cannot open it. And these dolls, and she has nothing else to really go up against. Game back feels like she has kind of underpowering her kingdom, but to be fair, it does make sense. I mean, from what we've seen, the demon lords are way stronger than the humans, so even if there was a human that could take down all of her forces, she would be able to handle him with her command suit, but Game back is Game back, so he's not really that much of a worry for that. But Game back just does the same thing he told her earlier in the chapter when he's like, would you stop begging for your life? As then Game back realizes that she's done with. So, but she's like, if I'm dying, then I'm not letting you all live. I'm taking you all with me. So she decides to blow up, but Gameback just squashes her together into like a little ball. It's like a little poof, and her suicide attack was essentially, he basically condensed her suicide attack to just his end, or he, I guess, delayed it a bit, because after he reduced it to a ball, he then throws it to another one of the giants. I'm guessing he's just a random giant because he doesn't react like he's one of his sons. So he just throws this random ball to the giant, and then that explosion does trigger, and that kills the giant. And he's there, oh no! She died, but she took on one of my sons, one of my giants. Other girl. That's the spirit I'm talking about. So it seems that Gameback's kind of like, at least impressed with her in the sense that she at least had the sense to, or if she's gonna die, she might as well kill someone of theirs. Because I don't think she killed anyone of the giants before him, but no, she at least killed one. So even though she died, at least she took down one of them. So he's kind of proud of that. As the other giants probably like, why is he proud of an enemy killing one of their own? But then anyways, Gameback stops his little admire being proud of her fighting spirit, or her dying spirit, as he's like, alright everyone, how do we get off here? As the third son's like, actually, I think she was the only one in this entire place that actually could tell us how to get out, so you just kinda killed her. As they look at the dolls, they're just like clapping, yay, bravo! Like Lady goes, no, your suicide act was so well worked, you killed one. So I guess they just own this place now. I don't know if they're gonna use it for anything or something, or if they're going to like just destroy it. But yeah, I guess Nono has to be happy. The fat bastard, that at least he got rid of the demon that he hated. God, I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of disappointed that she died, especially since there was this idea about she's like, oh, I'll be your vassal, I'll be your vassal, I'll be your vassal, and so I'm begging for her life, but then she just died. Kind of disappointing, but I do understand that this is supposed to show us how powerful Gimbek is. So him no diffing a non-combative demon lord does make logical sense. Especially since, like, we had Yachi beating a giant with no effort. Then we had him fighting a Mandarin and beating him with no effort, essentially, or more like going seriously in a sense of, let's see what you guys can actually, or let's see what an full-out power can really do. And then we had like Mandarins before that. We had them destroy the demons with no effort, but now they are being destroyed with no effort. And then we had like a giant destroying them with no effort. And then come fighting with Yachi going up, okay, fight, but then going against another demon lord to have him completely overwhelming a demon lord to show us again how powerful everyone is. I mean, the main point of these these kind of little arc here with the demon lords is pretty much to show us no, the fights are not clear cuts. This it really much depends on who you fight. Someone can fight. Some demon lords can be extremely powerful and defeat who knows who, but then another unit could be very weak. They could be defeated by strong opponents. There's some giants who are a lot stronger than the rest. It's pretty much more of a who fights who kind of sense. And I'm going to assume that Gimbek is the strongest giant, so obviously not going to be having much of a struggle against like a non-combative demon lord. But yeah. Anyways, that's the end of the chapter for this week. So yeah, final chapter of this week. Anyways, I hope you like this video. I hope you leave your thoughts on these chapters and some other chapters you've read, series you've read this week in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. And with that said, I cannot wait to see all of you mortals next time. Goodbye.